Children, let's continue with our chapter 7, alternating current. So today we are going to discuss about LCR series circuit. What is an LCR series circuit? It is a circuit that consists of inductor having inductance L, a capacitor having a capacitance C, and a resistor having a resistance R. And as resistor, capacitor and inductor all are connected in series. Therefore, same amount of current will flow through each of them. As you know, in series connection, the same amount of current flows through each of the circuit components. And this figure shows an LCR series circuit. This circuit consists of a resistor of resistance R, a capacitor of capacitance C, and an inductor of inductance L. All the three circuit components are connected in series with an AC voltage source. So this is the AC voltage source. It provides the alternating voltage or AC voltage to these three circuit components. Now, when you apply Kirchhoff's loop rule to this circuit, what will be the net EMF? You know, the net EMF of the circuit will be the potential drop across R plus the potential difference across the capacitor C plus the potential difference across the inductor L. So the potential difference across the resistor R will be IR as per Ohm's law, and from the principle of parallel plate capacitor, the potential developed across a capacitor will be V is equal to Q by C, and the potential in the case of inductor will be the induced EMF, and the expression for induced EMF is minus L into di by dt. So when you apply the Kirchhoff's voltage rule or loop rule to this circuit, you will get the net EMF is equal to the source voltage, that means our AC voltage, plus the voltage drop across the inductor, that will be the self-induced EMF, plus IR, that is the voltage drop across the resistor. Sorry, it's not plus, is equal to IR, voltage drop across the resistor, plus Q by C, voltage drop across the capacitor. Now substitute. So V means the AC voltage source, and what is the AC voltage? Vm sin omega t. Then plus E is the self-induced EMF, and the expression for self-induced EMF is minus L into di by dt. So this plus will become minus here, equal to IR plus Q by C. Okay, now bring minus L into di by dt to RHS part. So you will get Vm sin omega t equal to IR plus Q by C plus L into di by dt. Now, by putting I equal to dq by dt. Sorry, this is not di by dt, this is dq by dt. Okay, so by putting I is equal to dq by dt, Vm sin omega t equal to IR, instead of I substitute dq by dt. So dq by dt into R plus Q by C plus L into di by dt. So if I is dq by dt, then what will be di by dt? Di by dt will be equal to d by dt of dq by dt. d by dt of dq by dt is equal to d square q by dt square. Okay, so you will get L into d square q by dt square. And again rearrange the expression. By rearranging this expression, you will get L into d square q by dt square plus R into dq by dt plus Q by C is equal to Vm sin omega t. We have just rearranged the expression. We wrote this term in the beginning, then we wrote this as the second term and Q by C as the last term. That will be equal to Vm sin omega t. Okay, so by applying Kirchhoff's loop rule to the circuit, we got this expression, and this is a second order differential equation in Q. And when you solve the above equation, you will get the value of Q, and hence you will get the value of current I. because the first step in any AC circuit is to find out an expression for current. Okay, so that is our aim. Before solving this second order differential equation, we should be familiar with some terms in LCR circuit. So for that, we must know the impedance of an LCR circuit. Okay, so before solving this second order differential equation, let's discuss about the impedance of the LCR circuit. Then only you will be able to understand the terms coming in the differential equation. Okay. So what is impedance? As discussed in our previous session, impedance means resistance. So impedance of an LCR circuit is the resistance associated with the series LCR circuit. And impedance is the net resistance offered by the LCR circuit. That means it includes the resistance offered by the resistor, inductor and the capacitor. So three circuit components are there in an LCR circuit, and all the three components will offer some resistance to the flow of current through the circuit. So the net resistance offered by all the three circuit components will be the net impedance of an LCR circuit. And the impedance of an LCR circuit is denoted by capital letter Z. Its SI unit is ohm itself. The value of Z is given as Z is equal to square root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. What do you mean by R? It is the resistance of a purely resistive AC circuit, and XC was the impedance or resistance of a purely capacitive AC circuit, and XL is the resistance or impedance of a purely inductive AC circuit. Okay, so from this the value of Z is equal to square root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square, and this relationship is obtained from the impedance diagram. So you must know what is an impedance diagram. So impedance diagram is a right angle triangle whose hypotenuse is represented by Z, base is R, and the height or the perpendicular is XC minus XL whole square. So impedance diagram is a right angled triangle like this, whose hypotenuse is represented by Z. So this is the hypotenuse, it is represented by Z. Base is R, this is the base, it is R, and height is, that means this is the altitude, XC minus XL whole square. Okay, now from this it is very clear, that is, actually it is not XC minus XL whole square, it is just XC minus XL. Okay, this is what the mistake was there, just correct it. So impedance diagram is a right angle triangle whose hypotenuse is Z, base is R, and altitude or the perpendicular is XC minus XL, and there is a phase angle. So this is the phase angle, and phase angle is phi. Okay, so phase angle is phi, and it is the angle between voltage source and the current flowing through the circuit. Okay, and what is Z? From this diagram, Z, hypotenuse square, is equal to, that is Z square is equal to R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So what will be Z? Then Z will be equal to square root of R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Okay, so this is the expression for impedance, and this expression is obtained from the impedance diagram for an LCR series circuit. And what is tan phi? And from this figure, right angle triangle, tan phi is opposite side by adjacent side. So what is opposite side here? Opposite side is XC minus XL and adjacent side is R. So tan phi is XC minus XL divided by R. So both phase angle and the impedance is obtained from the impedance diagram. Now we can solve our differential equation. So once again the impedance diagram is shown here. See, hypotenuse is Z, base is R, XC minus XL is the altitude, and phi is the phase angle. And phase angle phi is the angle between the voltage source and the current I. Okay. Now, here we need to discuss about some cases. What is the first case? XC is greater than XL. So, if XC is greater than XL, XC minus XL term will be positive, and therefore phi is positive. Why? Because we know that tan phi is XC minus XL by R. So if XC is greater than XL, XC minus XL will be positive and tan phi also will be positive. Circuit will be a capacitive circuit in such a case because XC is more. If XC is positive, it means XC is greater than XL. That means XC is dominant here. So the capacitive reactance is dominate. It dominates in the circuit. So that means the circuit will be a more capacitive circuit. And if it is a capacitive circuit, current will lead the voltage. We had studied in our previous sessions. For a capacitive circuit, current always lead the voltage by a phase angle of pi by 2. Since it is an LCR series circuit, there can be different possibilities. Sometimes it will behave like a capacitive circuit. Some other times it will behave like an inductive circuit. So what is the condition for an LCR series circuit to behave like a capacitive circuit and an inductive circuit? So if XC is greater than XL, that means if capacitive reactance is greater than the inductive reactance, the tan phi will be positive and the circuit will be a capacitive circuit because XC is more. Current will lead the voltage in a capacitive circuit. Now, case 2. What happens if XL is greater? If XL is greater, then XC minus XL will be negative. So tan phi also will be negative. So circuit will be an inductive circuit because XL is more. And in an inductive circuit, voltage will lead the current by a phase angle of pi by 2. So this is the second case. Now, AC voltage applied to the series LCR circuit. That means we are now going to solve the second order differential equation that we got in the beginning of the session. Okay, so this was the equation: L into t square q by dt square plus R into dq by dt plus q by c equal to Vm sin omega t. I hope you remember this equation. Now, we have to assume a solution for this because that is the procedure to solve any second order differential equation. You might have studied the solution for second order differential equation in your mathematics classes. Okay, so the first step to solve any second order differential equation is to assume a solution. So, let the solution for the second order differential equation be q is equal to qm sin omega t plus theta. Now, differentiate it. When you differentiate with respect to time, you will get dq by dt is equal to qm is a constant, then differentiate sin omega t plus theta. By differentiating sin omega t plus theta, you will get cos omega t plus theta, and applying the chain rule, you will get omega. So dq by dt is qm omega into cos omega t plus theta. Then what will be d square q by dt square? Again differentiate this expression. So we will get qm omega into minus sin omega t plus theta into omega. Okay, so minus qm omega square sin omega t plus theta. Okay. Then what is the next step? Substitute the expressions for dq by dt and d square q by dt square in this equation. That is equation number 1. So, when you substitute all the values in equation 1, you will get qm omega into r cos omega t plus, children it is theta, r cos omega t plus theta plus xc minus xl sin omega t plus theta equal to Vm sin omega t. You can easily obtain this relation by taking the qm omega factor outside. Okay, just substitute the values in equation 1 and just check whether you are getting this particular equation. Now once you get this relation, divide and multiply by z throughout the equation. Okay, so here you must divide and multiply by z. So here you can multiply with z and divide by z. Okay, so here just multiply with z and here divide each term with z. So you will get r by z, here you will get xc minus xl by z, like that. Okay, so that is given here. Z is the impedance, so here you will get qm omega z. Here there is no equal to into r by z cos omega t plus theta plus 1 by z, or you can write xc minus xl by z into sin omega t plus theta equal to Vm sin omega t, because here whenever you multiply and divide with z, it will be cancelled and you will get Vm sin omega t itself on the RHS part. Okay. Then the expression becomes, instead of r by z you can substitute cos phi, and instead of xc minus xl by z you can substitute sin phi. How is it possible? I hope you remember the impedance diagram. This is the impedance diagram. This is z, this is r, this is xc minus xl, and this is our phase angle phi. And from this diagram, what is cos phi? Cos phi is equal to adjacent side, that means r, by hypotenuse z. And what will be our sin phi? Sin phi will be opposite side, and here opposite side is xc minus xl by hypotenuse, that is z. So instead of r by z you can substitute cos phi, and instead of xc minus xl by z you can substitute sin phi. So in the previous expression. Okay, so whenever you substitute those expressions you will get qm omega into z into cos phi cos omega t plus theta plus sin phi sin omega t plus theta equal to Vm sin omega t. Again qm omega z into, see inside the bracket the expression is in the form of a trigonometric identity, that is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. And what is cos A cos B plus sin A sin B? That is cos A minus B. And here we can take A as omega t plus theta and phi as B. Okay, so this omega t plus theta, let it be A and let phi be B. So cos A cos B plus sin A sin B is cos A minus B, that is cos omega t plus theta minus phi. Okay, so that is written here cos omega t plus theta minus phi. So here minus phi is written first, that is the only difference. Now in this expression, first you compare the constant part. So on the RHS we have the constant part Vm, and on the LHS we have the constant part qm omega z. So when you compare the constant part you will get Vm is equal to qm omega z. You compare this expression with that of Ohm's law, V equal to IR. So here instead of resistance R we have the impedance Z, because impedance is resistance itself, but instead of I we have the term qm omega. So the current I is equal to qm omega in an LCR series circuit. That means for an LCR series circuit the peak value of current is obtained by using the expression qm omega. Okay, now again in this expression just compare the sinusoidal terms. So here the sinusoidal term is cos omega t plus theta minus phi. I have just rearranged that expression equal to, and on the RHS part we have the sinusoidal term, that is sine omega t. And there is an expression or identity, that is cos omega t minus pi by 2 is equal to sine omega t. So whenever you compare these two expressions, the RHS of both the equations are equal, so we can equate the phase of LHS. So whenever you equate the phase of LHS, you can see theta minus phi is equal to minus pi by 2, isn't it? So we can write theta minus phi equal to minus pi by 2. So theta is equal to pi by 2 plus phi. Okay. So theta is pi by 2 plus phi. Then you can find out the value of current. So what is the value of current? Current I is equal to dq by dt. Okay, and it will be qm omega cos omega t plus theta. Why? Because we had already assumed that q is equal to qm sine omega t plus theta. Okay, so dq by dt is qm omega cos omega t plus theta, and instead of qm omega we got im, and instead of qm omega we have im. So here again we can make the substitution. So our current I is equal to im cos omega t plus theta. Now, so we got current I is equal to im cos omega t plus theta, isn't it? And from the previous session we got an expression for theta. Theta is equal to pi by 2 plus phi, isn't it? So we can write current I is equal to im into cos omega t plus, instead of theta we can write pi by 2 plus phi. Okay, and to be more specific, it is minus pi by 2 plus phi. So here it is minus pi by 2, it is not plus pi by 2. So we can write omega t minus pi by 2 plus phi. Okay, and cos omega t minus pi by 2 plus phi is nothing but sine phi. Okay, sine omega t plus phi. Cos omega t minus pi by 2 plus phi is sine omega t plus phi. Why? Because cos omega t minus pi by 2 is sine omega t, then remaining we have plus phi here. So the expression for I becomes I is equal to im cos omega t minus pi by 2 plus phi is sine omega t plus phi. So that expression is given here, sine omega t plus phi. And this is the expression for current in a series LCR circuit. Current I is equal to im sine omega t plus phi. So children, all the steps are not necessary. I just tried all the steps to make you understand how this final expression came. So if you want, you can directly jump into this expression soon after this step. Okay, so anyway you must remember the final expression for current in a series LCR circuit. What is the final expression for current? Current I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. So voltage and current are in or out of phase. That depends upon phi. Okay, so current amplitude is given by Im equal to Qm omega. And this is because V equal to Vm sin omega t and current I is equal to Im sin omega t plus phi. Okay, now suppose phi is equal to 0. If in this expression phi is equal to 0, then V is equal to Vm sin omega t, then I is equal to Im sin omega t, isn't it? Because if here phi is equal to 0, I will be equal to Im sin omega t. So when you look at the phase of both voltage and current, it will be same, right? Vm is Vm sin omega t and I is equal to Im sin omega t. So when phi is equal to 0, the phase of both voltage and current will be same. That means voltage and current are in phase with each other. Now suppose phi is phi by 2. If phi is pi by 2. So if phi is pi by 2, the voltage will be always V equal to Vm sin omega t, but voltage will be always Vm sin omega t, and when phi is equal to pi by 2, then current will be Im sin omega t plus pi by 2 instead of phi. So look at the phase of voltage and current. Here the phase of voltage is omega t, but here the phase of current is omega t plus pi by 2. So the phases are not equal. There is a phase difference of pi by 2 and current is ahead of voltage. That means current and voltage are out of phase and the current leads. So it will be a capacitive circuit. Okay, then if phi is minus pi by 2, then what happens? So here instead of plus pi by 2, it will be minus pi by 2. So in this circuit, voltage and current will be out of phase, and here again voltage is omega t but current is omega t minus pi by 2. So current lags behind voltage and it will be a inductive circuit. Okay, so LCR circuit means it is a combination of resistive, inductive and capacitive circuit. Which circuit at a time it shows the properties of a certain circuit, and which circuit is that? If it is a capacitive circuit or inductive circuit or resistive circuit, that is determined by the value of phi. If phi is equal to 0, it will be a resistive circuit. If phi is equal to pi by 2, it will be a capacitive circuit. And if phi is equal to minus pi by 2, it will be an inductive circuit. Okay. Now, this is the phasor diagram for a series LCR circuit. This portion represents the resistive circuit because here current and voltage are in phase. And this is the inductive voltage. Inductive voltage always leads the current. So inductive voltage comes in this quadrant, and this is the capacitive voltage. Capacitive voltage always lags behind the current. So current is in this quadrant, inductive voltage is ahead of current, and here the capacitive voltage is lagging behind the current, because that is the characteristic property of inductive and capacitive voltage. And again, the inductive voltage and the capacitive voltage phases are exactly opposite to each other and they are mutually perpendicular. And again, all these three are out of phase by a phase angle of pi by 2, because inductive voltage and the current is out of phase by a phase angle of pi by 2. Similarly, capacitive voltage and current is out of phase by a phase angle of pi by 2. So the angle between them will be, total angle will be 180 degree. So both will be exactly equal and opposite. VL and VC will be equal and opposite. And again, since both are acting, VL is a vector and VC is a vector, and since both vectors are acting along the same line, we can just add or combine these two vectors. This is the property of vector addition. So when you compare, how will you compare the vectors? Vector addition means VC plus VL. But here VL is acting in the opposite direction, so you can write VC minus VL. VC minus VL. Why VC minus VL? Because VC is the greater vector than VL. And of course the magnitude of capacitive voltage is greater than that of inductive voltage, because the values of IMXC is greater than the value of IMXL. Okay, that means the capacitive inductance is greater than the capacitive reactance is greater than the inductive reactance. So the capacitive voltage will be greater than the inductive voltage. That's why the length of the capacitive voltage is greater than that of the inductive voltage. So the greater vector is the capacitive voltage. So that's why we substituted VC minus VL here. So the net resultant vector of VL and VC will be VC minus VL. So here it is given VC minus VL. And what will be the direction of that resultant vector? It will be acting towards the direction of greater vector, that is VC. So this complicated phasor diagram is simplified into this diagram. That means here we have VR. VR doesn't have any change, it remains in the same. Then here what happens, these two vectors are simplified, and instead of VL and VC, now we have the vector VC minus VL, that is the resultant of these two vectors, and it acts along this direction, and this is the angle. Both these vectors will be mutually perpendicular. Then again we have two vectors. One vector is VR and another vector is VC minus VL. Then what is the resultant of these two vectors? Resultant of these two vectors will be this vector V. And how will you find out that resultant vector? That is equal to square root of square of magnitude of one vector. That means VR square plus another vector is VC minus VL whole square. So that is the magnitude of the resultant vector. Okay, and we have VR is equal to Im into R. So VR square will be Im R square plus VC. VC is Im into XC. That means current into resistance. So resistance of AC, capacitive AC circuit is XC. So VC will be Im. So here it is Im square R square. So this is the phasor diagram for a series LCR circuit. Concluding this session, notes of the topic and YouTube video have been uploaded. Just go through it. We will meet in the next session. Till then, take care all of you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.